Hello and welcome to the introduction to my new YouTube channel, which I just created. The name of my channel is The Cultured Redneck Garage, and this is a channel I've wanted to do for some time because there's been a lot of times in life where I have worked on something or did a project or certain steps in that project where I look back on and wish, man, I really wished I had kind of videotape that or chronicle that because when working on things, part of the joy is seeing where you start, where you begin, and where you end up, and seeing where the fruits of your labor send you, and then also how much fun and relaxing that working on the automotive hobby or any other hobby for that matter is. And so that is essentially my goal, is to chronicle that, also, for myself, but also for my children, so that they can go back and look on things that Dad has worked on and how they were a part of that as well. But yeah, this is the garage. It is not much to speak of. It may only be, it's not much bigger than 20 foot by 20 foot. Maybe 21, I think, if we're lucky. But normally where I'm standing inhabits my wife's van, so the working space is not that big. What inhabits most of this is my 1972 Plymouth Satellite Sebring Plus, which we'll talk a little bit more about, and I'll show you a little bit more later on. But I pulled the van out, and I could work on other projects with the body, body work on this sort of thing. You might see the paddle tires back there. I mess with, not only do I mess with this car, but I mess with Dune Buggies. And I've also got a Dragster project that I am working on, and I'll show you both of those at some point. But yeah, not much to it. My garage is somewhat of a disgrace right now. I am not a slob. This is probably in its worst shape that it has been in a long time. There's dust everywhere from working on sanding things. A little bit of overspray, which we're gonna have to control better. That workbench back there is very cluttered. So perhaps one of the first projects we need to do is clean up. But it also is a storage building as well, but you know what, a lot of people work with less, so we're going to make do with it and be happy. So anyways, on to the Plymouth. My dad used to tell me of his classic cars that he had back in the late 60s and 70s, and one that he wished that he had kept was his 1957 Chevy Bel Air, black, two-door hardtop. And so whenever I was younger in high school and was looking for a car, I always wanted a Charger. Or who didn't? Everybody wanted a 69 Charger because of the Dukes of Hazzard. Well, we happened to find this 1972 Plymouth Satellite. It wasn't in that shape back then, but it gave me a project to do as a 15-year-old. And when you're 15, you really don't have like me, when you didn't really have the money, probably had a little more time than money, but you do what you can do to get it on the road. Such is the case with this car. So yes, this is my very first car, and I'm glad that I kept it. And I kept it because of what my dad's saying about how he wished he had kept his. So that's where we're at with that. I have started this car doing some body work to it. It's not an original lemon twist car, but this one is. I currently have the fenders off, and they are painted. And work has been done on that. Just got done painting the hood, and in other videos I will show you essentially kind of some of the patchwork I've done just through some photos and that sort of thing, to kind of keep you up to date on what has been done. In fact, here are two of the panels. I got to go back and touch up this guy here on the corner. It got messed up, but they are covered in dust, and just like everything else in this garage. You know, as I was uncovering this, there was a little saying that I used in a sermon once, and I didn't realize it was there, but it was sitting there as kind of an extra board, and it reads this: the heaviest burdens that we carry are the thoughts in our head. That's very true in a lot of things in life, but I think it's definitely true with cars and projects. Sometimes they can be a burden, but they don't always have to be. So a good perspective and a good work ethic, and we can enjoy our projects, and I think that's what that's all about. So yeah, this car, it is a 318 car. It's been warmed over a little bit. What I did was I put headers on it and an Edelbrock RPM air gap intake, which I do not recommend if you live in colder climates. I live in Kentucky, and I used to drive this car to work even as I was putting, you know, primer and Bondo on it. And in the fall and winter months, it becomes very difficult to start up with that RPM air gap. But other than that, it's a great intake manifold. I would not go back and do it if I had the chance to do it. So we're going to finish up this body work. It's going to take some time. I've worked on the other side a little bit, but as you can tell, there is some cancer that we have to take care of. I just got AMD Auto Metal Direct has I guess are discontinuing their quarter panels. At least that's kind of the story I heard. So I was able to buy some quarter halves that were kind of from this area on down. So we're going to replace both of those, the driver side and the passenger side rear quarters, which will be a huge job. But next up on this, I would like to fix sort of the nasty place here where this was an Illinois car, by the way. Some of this, we're going to fix the rust here and patch that and treat all of this inner metal here. Overall, this car is not in that horrible of a shape, but it is a 50-year-old car, and with a 50-year-old car, you get 50 years worth of neglect. And when you are a 16-year-old like me back in the day with no money and no welder, you just slapped Bondo on it and got it ready to go to high school, and that was that. So we're going to try to do it better this way. Here's the interior of the car. I haven't sat and drove this in about a year now, but I've got brand new seat covers to put on this. I've got a new headliner to stick in here. New sail panels I have put together, and we're going to dye the door panels white. That's what color the seat covers will be. Anyways, fantastic project. Lots of material probably going to come with this. I just kind of wished I had taken more video of it earlier. So anyways, and on to one of my other projects here. So here's another one of my big projects, the Subaru Dragster. Now, this is not priority number one. The Plymouth will be, but this is something I enjoy working on. And, back before, well, a while back, I started, when I started working on my buggy and playing around, I got into doing sand drags, or dirt drags around here, is what we call that. And it was a very fun thing to do, and I fell in love with it. So I wanted to build something bigger and faster. So, but I didn't want to spend 10 grand, excuse me, 10 grand doing it. And so I have had this idea. A lot of Volkswagen guys put their Subaru engines on buggies, and right out of the factory they're 165 horse, and you throw a turbo on it, you can get up around 300 or more. So we'll talk more in depth about that at some point, but I just want to introduce it to you. But yeah, it was built for dirt drags, and my local track closed down, so I am considering making this baby for asphalt. But to do that, there's a lot of things you have to change. There's going to be some added reinforcement bars here. We've got to build a body with a windshield. A lot of other safety precautions to do. We'll talk a little bit more about that. This is a Volkswagen transmission flipped around with an adapter plate. Now, if I had to be completely honest, I would love, you know, one of the motivating factors for this this whole channel was the No Name Nationals. It would be sweet if I could get this thing done and take it to the No Name Nationals. However, that would be very, very ambitious, and it would definitely take time away from doing. I'd have to stop kind of working on the Plymouth, and I think my wife wants me to get that done so we can get back to riding around. But man, that would be sweet. I'd like to do that and take that to the No Name Nationals. I don't know, what do y'all think? I guess if nothing else, I'm only 60 miles away from the No Name Nationals, so there's really no reason I shouldn't go to at least watch. But I suppose I could take my buggy and throw those slicks back there on it and race just for fun. You know, that thing only has probably at most 80 horsepower, so it may not be a big contender, but who cares? It's all about having fun. Well, anyways, that's I would show you the buggy right now, but I've got it at my dad's because I live in town. I'm not out in the country anymore, and so I just can't have crap sitting in the yard. So anyways, we will introduce that project and some improvements I want to make on that in the future. So I thank you for visiting my page, and hope you'll subscribe. Keep coming back to see what we got for you, and you can enjoy the process with me. Thank you.